Welcome to Driving.ca. I'm Jay Canna, and I'm with the refreshed 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe full-size SUV. And the big question we're going to answer here is, are the mid-cycle refresh updates enough to keep the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe relevant and competitive? Let's get started with some baseline numbers. So there are three engine options for the 25 Tahoe. You can get the 5.3 liter V8, putting out 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. You can go for the 6.2 liter V8, and that ups your power output to 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, and that's the engine I have here. And you can also opt for the 3 liter 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel. Power figures are up this year, and they are now 305 horsepower, 495 pound-feet of torque, and all three engine options run off a 10-speed automatic transmission. What's interesting is you can still, in Canada, get a two-wheel drive Tahoe. Interestingly, that comes with 9 available seats. You got a bench seat up front if you so choose. But power-wise, that's what we're looking at for the 3 power plants. With great power comes great fuel consumption. So for the 5.3 liter engine in liters per 100 kilometers, you average out at 14.4. For the 6.2 liter engine, you average out at a whopping 15 liters per 100 kilometers combined. And if you want the 3 liter turbocharged diesel, that goes way down to 10.7. Last two key figures will be cargo space and towing. So on the cargo space side, with that third row up, you get 722 liters of cargo space, which is pretty decent, reasonable, and actually usable. And on the towing side, you can go between 8,000 and 8,400 pounds, depending on the engine that you select. Let's go through the highlights of what's new for the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe. So first up is the lighting signature up front. It's a little more pronounced, and you have the animations, and it's a little gimmicky, sure, but as part of a mid-cycle refresh, one of the easiest things you can do is alter, tweak, upgrade your exterior lighting designs, and it's the same for the rear as well. There's also a new front fascia, not as noticeable compared to the 24, but again, part and parcel for what a mid-cycle refresh is. And finally, there is now an option for 24-inch wheels depending on the trim you choose. The noticeable changes are on the inside with a new 17.7-inch infotainment screen and an 11-inch digital instrument cluster. It really fills out the cabin, but it's not overwhelming like some of, let's say, the luxury brands where it's pillar-to-pillar screens. This really suits the Tahoe, and well placed, well put together. It's angled toward the driver, just for that little bit of extra convenience. And finally, there's a new steering wheel design. So overall, the short version is the interior upgrades, specifically in the front portion of the Tahoe, are again noticeable. They are very user friendly, they're extremely welcome, and it makes the driving experience that much better. As mentioned, I have the upgraded 6.2 liter V8, and driving impressions here are extremely impressive. Now, there's a small asterisk with that. Chevrolet Canada has spec'd this with the adaptive air suspension and the Magna ride control, and that's a key contributor as to why the ride is so smooth. And yes, I know it's a big old honking V8 with tons of power, but it's a smooth and very even power delivery here. It's not jerky as it runs up and down all of its 10 speeds. I know that this is a full-size SUV, but as I take this corner here at a very safe and respectable speed of 30 kilometers an hour, there is very minimal body roll, which is rare for a vehicle of this size. And this is the Z71 trim. So for those unfamiliar, it's Chevrolet's off-road geared trim, and it's got the all-terrain tires on it. And 9 times out of 10, when you have all-terrain tires on, the ride becomes noisy and harsh, and it's really best served off pavement. But again, with the adaptive air suspension, the Magna ride control, but the way I have it spec'd here, the driving impressions are extremely impressive. Do you really need the 6.2 over the 5.3? Well, if you're doing a lot of towing, then sure. And for whatever reason, if you need that extra power, then absolutely opt for the higher output. But if it's just going to be toting around the city, maybe some cottage trips, and you're primarily hauling people, stuff, and things, I think that 5.3 liter engine will do just fine. For my week of driving with the 6.2 liter V8, it's been extremely satisfying. It's felt so confident on the road, low speeds, highways, city streets, back roads, like I'm on right now. And it's just so impressive that Chevrolet has engineered a full-size SUV with the all-terrain tires through the Z71 package that performs so well as far as being calm and composed and offering very supportive road manners here. Here's what the new Tahoe does exceptionally well. There's a long list of standard safety features here, and they're highlighted by automatic emergency braking, forward collision assist, lane keep assist, lane departure warning. So it's the state of the industry as we keep advancing year over year that more features are becoming standard instead of being nickel and dimed for them. So I'm happy to see that for 2025, Chevrolet has lengthened their list of standard safety features. There are several camera views available to help when you're towing, and it's always good to know what's around you and have different views of your trailer. And there are a couple of really cool features as well, including trailer tire health, and there is a boat ramp assist as well. So I think it's really important to not only be safe when you're towing, regardless of if you've towed for years and years and years, or if you're relatively new to the world of towing. Knowing your surroundings, knowing what's around you is the most important thing, making sure you're safe and those around you are safe. So kudos Chevrolet for really stepping up on that. I know some GM vehicles don't have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but thankfully the Tahoe does, and it's wireless, and it takes up the entire screen. It's not that, well, we'll give you like 60 or 70% of the screen and then keep some fixed pieces on the side. This is an excellent implementation of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and GM, just give it to us all around. I hope you'll change your mind on the ones that don't have it. Super Cruise is available on almost every single trim of the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe. Now, unfortunately, it's not offered on the Z71, but if you're looking outside of this specific trim, absolutely consider getting it if you are doing a lot of highway driving. It is one of the best systems in the modern market. Another check mark that Chevrolet gets here with the 25 Tahoe is that with the upgrades, the interior has this upscale and premium feel. Not quite Cadillac-like, but it's certainly a marked improvement over what it was for 2024. And I'm not only talking about the larger screen and the redesigned console and the new 11-inch digital instrument cluster or steering wheel. Just the overall design looks and feels much more attractive and welcoming than it did previously. It wouldn't be a true GM vehicle without those cheap looking flimsy plastic hard touch buttons. But in this case, I don't care, because as we race towards a digital world where everything's being poked at through a screen, it's refreshing that GM has kept a big bank of buttons to the left of the steering wheel, and it's your headlights, it's your towing, it's adjusting different modes. If equipped, it handles the ride height as well. And again, don't care that it's a consistent thing for decades with GM. I'm just happy that there's a physical place for it. One place GM didn't go cheap and flimsy is with the physical controls for the HVAC system. And there's that nice little bank just above the wireless charger, just below the vents. Muscle memory will kick in and make it so easy to use. And there are also two large dials here to adjust the temperature control. And yes, there's a physical volume knob on the top left of the infotainment screen. So if you are looking for a balance of modern and traditional controls, the Tahoe does this extremely well. Here are a few places where the Tahoe could see some improvements. There's no hybrid option. And I know GM really isn't big on hybrids. Yes, they have their EVs through their IQ series, but not everybody would want or need a naturally aspirated V8. I know there's no replacement for displacement, but some of the competitors do have hybrid options. They have smaller displacement with healthy amounts of power. So I don't think it's going to be in the cards, although the automotive industry changes quite frequently. But for now, it's only the V8s and the turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel. I would have liked to have seen a hybrid, and perhaps the next generation will have one. For the second row, you can either get a bench seat or you can opt for a captain's chairs. And this has the captain's chairs option. And the issue is, if you have car seats in those second row captain's chairs, getting to the third row is a little problematic, because not only does the seat back fold, but you can also have it tumble forward. That is a great benefit as far as having much easier access to the third row. But again, if there are car seats / child seats in that second row of captain's chairs, it becomes a little difficult to get people into that third row with any kind of ease or grace. A couple of options on the 25 Tahoe are pretty expensive. The two ones that come to mind are the panoramic sunroof, which you see here, almost $2,000, and for the head-up display and digital rearview mirror, almost $1,500. So that's kind of encroaching into luxury territory as far as the pricing goes. Let's get wrapped up with pricing and competition. So the entry point is the two-wheel drive LS. Canadian MSRP for that rings in at $76,499. I doubt anyone will get it, so the real relative entry point is the four-wheel drive LS, $79,999. Max out at the High Country at $104,999. And what we have here, the Z71, comes in at $88,999. So that's your price range, and it spreads out across 6 trims, and again with the LS coming in either two-wheel or four-wheel drive. On the competition side, it's the usual suspects. So it's the GMC Yukon, the new Ford Expedition, the Nissan Armada, Toyota Sequoia, and the Jeep Wagoneer. So no shortage of choice here, but I think that if you are looking at the Chevrolet Tahoe, it's something that you are very attracted to, you're attached to, and whether you're a long-term Chevrolet customer or you just like the upgrades that Chevrolet has put in here, very modern updates, very bringing it from okay-ish to really, really good, maybe test drive the Tahoe 2 or 3 times to see if it fits your needs and to see if it fits your lifestyle. So to answer my question from the beginning of the video, which was, does this mid-cycle refresh make the Chevrolet Tahoe more competitive? I say absolutely yes. There's just enough of a balance here for bringing it forward to make it more appealing, with a lot more of the technology side of things without overwhelming the driver by having everything buried into the touchscreen. There's still plenty of towing at up to 8,400 pounds. There are great amenities, seats are comfortable, it's really spacious, and across 6 trims, there should be a Tahoe for everybody who's looking for one. That's going to wrap it up for the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. We're always happy to hear from you, and we're always happy to engage in respectful conversations online. For more news, reviews, and information you can use on full-size SUVs, visit our website, which is Driving.ca, and visit our social media platforms. For Driving.ca, I'm Jay Canna.